have a dream that one day, down in Alabama, with its vicious racists, with its governor having his lips dripping with the words of interposition and nullification, one day right there in Alabama, little black boys and black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers. I have a dream today.
Hands to the heavens, no man, no weapon formed against, yes, glory is destined. Every day women and men become legends. Sins that go against our skin become blessings. The movement is a rhythm to us. Freedom is like religion to us. Justice is juxtaposition in us. Justice for all, just ain't specific enough. One son died, his spirit is revisiting us. True and living in us. Resistance is us. That's why Rosa sat on the bus. That's why we walk through Ferguson with our hands up. When it go down, we woman and man up. They say stay down, and we stand up. Shots, we on the ground. The camera panned up. King pointed to the mountaintop, and we ran up. One day.
How we view the word race is the answer to the healing of an ailing society. Good morning, good evening, or good afternoon, whichever of these three you happen to be in. My name is Robert Woodard. I am a barber in the Winfield area of Philadelphia. My barber's chair has seated many people of all ethnicities with many questions and answers that could only be solved in the barber's chair. The history of barbering goes back as far as 296 BC. The first barber of Rome was Ticinus Mena. A statue of Dr. Ticinus Mena stands in Rome today. Yes, barbers were your first doctors and surgeons. Which leads me to a question that I asked a professor of race relations at LaSalle University. His name? Charles Gallagher. The question I asked him was, how do you view the word race? Is it singular or is it plural to you? In our society today, this question should be answered by every human being on earth. The answer will astound you about yourself. Just listen to the response of Dr. Charles Gallagher, professor of race relations at LaSalle University, after being asked that question.
Hey, Nick, how are you?
Hey, Woody, how you feeling, man?
Hey, man, I'm just glad to hear you, and you're sounding good. I'm listening to you all the time here at the barbershop with all my customers, and I just wanted to say to Dr. Gallagher that you guys are having a great conversation. However, the question I had to ask you, if I were to ask you the word race, is that to you a plural or a singular word?
Oh, great question. Is it is race... So could I say races? And that would be...
No, I'm just asking you to say the word race. Is it a plural or a singular word?
And Woody, I'm not giving you a dodge either. I see the word race as a hierarchy, and because that's what it's fundamentally about. It's about putting groups below and above one another.
But that wasn't the question, Doctor.
So I guess actually race would be basically a hierarchy of... I mean, there's many races, I guess. I mean, we could talk about the human race.
So you would say it was a plural, then?
Well, it sounds to me that
well, let me say this then,
okay.
Nick, because we're not going to get. This is one of the things that we need to practice. I'm the chairman of an organization called Human Family Day, and we celebrate about the time of Dr. King's assassination. The reason we do Human Family Day is to remind people there's only one human family. Mm-hmm. It's called the human race. Mm-hmm. Understanding that and putting that inside a person's mind, each day that you use the word race as a plural, you can correct yourself and have your friends do it too. That will start something that would at least get our children to thinking differently than they think today. Once we start understanding that aspect of where are we going as a human race, then we see the power of what that one little word is doing to everybody. Now, you just mentioned, Doctor, that the president was reduced to being called the black president. So all I'm saying to you is that's not a reduction if the original person of the planet came out black.
You know what?
That's the beginning of all human race.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, and I think that I would answer, and again, I'm not trying to get around your question, which is good. I have 2 young daughters, and I tell them what you're saying to me, is that we are this, and these categories emerge as kind of a socio-political way as resources. It's about basically getting resources. But here's why I would say I do still think about races and why they're important, because, like, just for example, I mean, I do a lot of work on housing. You know, who is more likely to get a loan even though they have the same assets. I mean, you know, who's
Believe
like
me, I understand where you're coming from.
Right,
What
exactly.
I'm trying to do is to get to the core of the word,
Yeah.
and to get to the core so that you, when you're teaching, that you understand that we need to do away with dividing the word. The
Well, you
word is
know,
human.
what I was going to plug in to interject so that I can look like the A student in
I'm
this
sorry,
class.
Nick,
No problem. I was going to say
God,
that. I'm
not in the barbershop. You're not in the chair, Nick. I'm sorry.
Well, no, I mean, you're both taking something off the head and putting something in it. But I was going to say that race is almost a collective singular word, like human. We are humans who make up the human family. Does that make sense to either of you?
The human race is identified as one.
No, I was just saying, but the same thing is that it's a collective. It is a collective plural.
Yeah, and Woody, let me say something to Woody that people will say, well, it's this kind of idea of essentialism. It's natural for people to want to be with their own. I'm like, whoa, no. You know, the history, and I think you're getting at it. These divisions have been created through really socialization, really through you know. And like I tell my students, they get flipped out. It turns out I self-identify as someone white, but I have the sickle cell trait. And they always say to me, what do you mean? You're a white guy. And I'm like, well, I said, then you don't understand how the sickle cell trait works.
Yeah, that's right.
That part of my population comes from the Mediterranean. And, and it's not, and of course it's Sicily, which was controlled by North Africa for hundreds of years. It's an evolutionary response to malaria. Right. And I said, you know, and this is what you don't get. I said, that's getting to your point, is that if you think
let me say this, Doctor. I don't mean to cut you off. Where you're coming from is the issue of color. Race is different than color. See, there's only one race. It's called the human race. There's only one color. It's called melanin. It has many shades. So there's only one either way you go. Well, understanding that and understanding that you come from somewhere else as it relates to the melanin in your skin, that can create a person that has a keloid that happens to look like they're white. Right. Well, I had usually associated with a person that's of darker hue.
I use this great article from my race class that I teach, and it's this famous anthropologist. But he says, you know, black is beautiful because black. It's good to be black if you live near the equator, and that's just like the you know, because in the last the 300 years or so we're moving a lot. But if you didn't have dark skin at the equator, you were going to get cancer. And then of course white is beautiful. The farther you go up to the top, it's exactly the amount of melanin you have going to getting vitamin D.
I'm going to let you go back, and I'm sorry, but this is last, and I'll leave you with this, Doctor. God knows what he's doing, and wherever you are on the planet, the environment paints the picture. We all started out from the hue of the darkness of a single person, and it came into everybody else, but it's still the human race. So I'll leave you with that. Nick, thanks a lot.
You got it, Woody. Have a good one there, man. Good talking to you.
All right.
I would advise every person of all diverse backgrounds to answer the same question, to help our world see the light of where we are in the present state of mind in our American society and all over this globe. Please challenge yourself with this question. How do you view the word race? Is it singular or is it plural? Take the race test today. www.barbershoptalkhfd.org.
One day, when the glory comes, it will be ours. It will be ours. Oh, one day, when the war is won, we will be sure. We will be sure. Oh, glory, glory, glory. Whoa. Now the war is not over. Victory isn't won. We'll fight on.
Remember, how you view the word race is the answer to the healing force in an ailing society. But it has to start with you, the individual who believes in liberty and justice for all in our human family.
Lord.